Karin Gatrinig, here we are. I want to welcome any us and of course the beautiful lady from Austria, Karin Gatrinig. I'm Lee Jenkins, and this is our final chapter of abundance tuning. I'm not sure what we're going to do now from the going on. That's going to be weird not having this conversation on Tuesdays, but anyhow, this last chapter is called fine tuning. I was going to read a little bit of it. Any thoughts on any of this, Karin, before I start reading some of this and get into the conversation?
Yeah, fine tuning. This is the chapter which includes all the chapters before.
Yeah.
So fine tuning, the title is so perfect because today we're gonna step into the real manifestation process.
Mhm.
Today we're gonna talk about this one essence, which is really so important to manifest your dream life and really a life that everyone deserves and desires. And yeah, in this chapter you talk about everything what's necessary, but one special essence which everyone needs. And yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. It kind of it's a chapter that kind of brings it all together. It's right on the very first cover it says your vibes speak louder than your words. And I think this one, the reason I called it fine tuning was this is how you in line, and it's all about love, right? So it's I'll just read some of it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so it starts out with after a lot of exploration. Let's try putting these on. There you go. I can see it now. Again, I just need longer arms. Like when I put it out here, I can see it. But anyways, never mind. After a lot of exploration, I came to understand that it is our resistance to love that keeps us in the dark. This resistance is the reason we stay stuck in patterns that keep us from thriving. You experience relief with meditation, positive affirmations, therapy, or any other type of personal growth, only to sabotage that great feeling with a limiting belief, negative comment, or addictive patterns. This experience continues to occur because the moment we lean towards the light, the darkness within us resists. That's that false self that we've talked about in the past. Even when we commit to love and happiness, we often find it hard to give up the fear we have grown to depend on. We were having a conversation about some people we know that they seem to love that pattern of living in fear and desperation.
Yeah.
It's sad because they're not living a happy life. It's just sad because they spend so much time talking about what's wrong that they've made that basically their career, which is kind of sad, right? So we give purpose to our pain, believing struggle and strife are necessary to success, lasting joy, or a meaningful life. And we feel safe in a state of conflict and control. We carry an unconscious belief that to stay alive, we must hold onto our protection mechanisms. No matter how great love may feel, you may be doing all you can to create freedom, connect, flow, and release your fear-based habits. But it is likely that the moment you feel some sense of relief, you're blindsided by the shadow of fear that dwells below the surface. You may not have recognized this pattern before, but when you do, you can begin the journey towards freedom. And that's really what we're hoping for here. That abundance we're talking about is whatever you decide it to be, right? And that personal freedom, which is one of the chapters here, that's really what you want to be working towards. So the primary reason for our unhappiness is startlingly simple. We are resistant to being happy. You commit to awaken from fear and get in tune with the abundance of love. And the moment that you open this book, which is true, like you're obviously looking for something or you wouldn't be following us here and you wouldn't be reading this book. This commitment is massive. However, the presence of fear within you will do whatever it takes to keep you stuck in pain and darkness. This fear is the root cause of all our problems and feelings of disconnect. To honestly say yes to the love of the universe means you have to look at your resistance and give up a thought means give up where are they going to leave off here?
Give up a thought system. that you mistakenly identify as safety, security, and the foundation of life.
Carry on. Carry on. I lost my spot here. So
We must acknowledge our resistance. We must recognize that while we have a loving, miracle mindset within us that wants to be at peace. Yeah, and that's really great till now what you read, because this is the resistance to love is this one particular essence that most of the people don't recognize, that it is the resistance of love, the resistance to love. Most people have some or had some experiences in the past and some trauma and some pain, and they always think about what happened in the past.
right.
So, and if they had a situation where they felt the pain and they were sad, maybe a loved one passed or went away, yeah, or anything else happened, whatever, they always think about the pain. They always think about the fear of being alone. And what most people do, they say, okay, I'm going to build a wall around my heart. I don't want to feel love anymore. I don't want to feel this energy of the universe.
Yeah.
And but the sad thing is they disconnect from source,
Right. Absolutely.
from God, from the universe, how you want to call it. And that's only fear to get hurt again.
Right.
And that's really sad. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very sad. And unfortunately, great majority of people live that way. They don't put themselves out there. They don't connect with other people and things like that because they're afraid of getting hurt. Go ahead.
Yeah, they quit with life. I always think when I hear something like that, I don't want to feel the love anymore because I'm afraid, I'm in fear to get hurt. They quit.
Yeah.
They don't want to experience life, and they don't want to feel the essence of the universe. They don't want to feel source.
Right. And the interesting thing is you really truly study the material that's in here, and even especially this particular chapter, there's really nothing to fear. And the more you start to change how you see things, change your perception of reality, your world, you're going to attract people into your life that aren't going to hurt you. So there is nothing to fear. And then again, we talk a lot about, we're going to get into it more here, but we're talking a lot about the love of the universe or God or the divine source, whatever you want to call it. When you have that in your heart, there is nothing to fear. Will you have some days where you feel some pain? Maybe, but it doesn't have to last. And it shouldn't keep you from trying to live the life you really want to live, right?
Yeah. Sure, we all have days where we feel some fear or pain or sadness. Sometimes we have days we think about special things, but it's always the question, how many attention do you give these emotions, those negative emotions? And how long do you stay in this vibration? And that's the key, because if you say, no, I don't give the negative emotion all the attention, then you can raise your vibration from 1 second to another. And we're gonna hear it later. I think it's in the next paragraph when you wrote about the affirmations, if you fall back in these old patterns. But here at the beginning, you have in the book, you write about the false self and the false beliefs. And all the false self is explained in the chapter of paradigms. So here is one thing: most of the people stay stuck in the problem to find out what blocks them.
That's
So,
right.
and I wanna tell everybody, don't think about so much what's blocking me, because this is again the vibration you're sending out.
Right.
So if you're always thinking about what's blocking me, you create some blocks.
Mhm. Yeah, that focusing on what's blocking you is putting you in a negative vibration, and you're going to attract to you something similar on that vibration. So you're going to get more
Absolutely.
problems than you are going to get anything good. That's usually what the biggest problem is. People are always looking for this universe or luck or something to fix a problem, and
Yeah.
the focus is on the problem.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a solution by focusing on the problem. It doesn't go away. It's going to get worse. Even if it goes away temporarily, it's coming back, because we are in control of how we feel, how we what kind of vibration we're in. And that's the thing that's important. That's why we're talking about here is finding that love. When you're
Yeah.
in the vibration of love, there's really, what can possibly go wrong? Will you have a bad day? Will something happen? Like your case, you went through a storm and it even ripped off part of the roof on your house. But look at today you're smiling and there's a new roof going on and everything is going fine, right? Everyone's gonna deal with certain things, but it's how it affects you has a lot to do with whether or not you're allowing the love in, right? Like you could be very upset right now because you've got a lot of things happening. You're home alone. It's you and your
Yeah.
dog Malibu, and that was it. And that's kind of scary. But here you are, not that long after the storm, and you're smiling and acting just like the car in Gatwick that everybody has learned to love, right? Well, some of the things that just carry on a little bit here with what it says. What will serve you most is to look at your fear with love and decide that it is not a thought system you want anymore. Making the decision will clear the path to happiness. Release your old thought system, and welcoming in a new one takes practice, but it is a lot less work than you may think. And that's, again, if you really kind of study what we've got in here in this book, I think you're going to find that the answers are here.
Absolutely.
But you have to want the answers. And that's usually what the problem is people love their problems. They say they don't. We talk about it all the time. You see people on Facebook, and if they didn't have something to complain about, they'd have nothing to say. And those are the ones I usually unfriend, because I don't want to hear it. It's I don't mind someone telling me where they were and this is where they're going, something positive, but I don't want to hear the same thing over and over again. Like, and you can check with somebody like 6 months later and they're still talking about the same thing, although maybe a new problem, but there's still always a problem, right? I always
Yeah,
learn something
it's
too
still a problem.
when it comes to people's health. Like, obviously I care about people and I want to see people live a happy, healthy life. But I always remember Bob Proctor saying that the only time you should talk about your health is when you're with your doctor. And you'll know that even like Bob in his final days, he was obviously sick, and he even had a really serious health issue, probably 6 or 7 years ago now. Never talked about it. You never actually knew what was going on because he wouldn't talk about it. And that goes back to this. We're talking about vibration. So if you're talking about it, then you're in the vibration of being sick, which means you're going to get more sick. And anybody who's listening and following along with you and feeling sorry for you is now in that vibration too, and is probably going to get sick, right? And these are the things that people need to understand. So what else we got here? What you long for most is freedom from fear, so you can return to peace. The more you are reminded of what you want, the more you will embrace the capacity to receive it. The practice of being on spiritual path is not about being the best meditator or the kindest person or the most enlightened. This approach is about surrendering to love as often as possible. So embrace your resistance, forgive yourself, and understand that all that is required is your willingness to release whatever blocks you from tuning into the abundant energy of love. So the next part here is we're moving into the section that's called personal power. And I'm just going to read the very first part of it here. It says, our happiness, success, and security can be measured by our genuine capacity to tune into the loving vibration of the universe. Many people feel unhappy, unsuccessful, and unsafe because they forget where their true power lies, what unites them with the universe. Joy is our birthright. What blocks our joy is our separation from love. The way back to love begins with understanding how we disconnect in the first place. That's the key is, I think a lot of times, I always say, you're born perfect. You came into this world absolutely perfect. It's the environment that messed you up. So you may have grown up in an environment where there's no expression of love in the family. And then guess what? You go out and you start relationships. You find a man or a woman and you get married and you end up marrying someone who can't express love. And that's normal. But then you're never happy. You're always looking for love outside of yourself, when the reality is you can connect to love anytime you want. And the more you do that, when I get back to the relationship idea, the chances are you're going to have happy, healthy relationships, because when you love yourself first, you're not going to be involved with a person who doesn't love themselves and isn't going to express that love to you. That's why relationships fall apart. They're not unhappy with each other. They're unhappy with themselves, but they don't want to recognize that. So they take it out on the person that they're with, right? Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
Here we go back to the chapter of paradigms. Yeah. When you grew up in a family and they were not able to express love or to say, I love you. So many people can't say it. So I think that should be more normal in families. So I do that with my children too. I tell them, I also tell my parents. Also, when I knew that they gave me paradigms, I don't want today anymore, but okay, and now I changed it. That's another topic, but
you're breaking up really bad.
But the love and to express I love you, this is key to manifest. Better now. Yeah, a little bit better.
Right. You're going to manifest whatever vibration you're in. Yeah, it's just improved. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and what most of the people do, they work too hard on the manifestation.
Yeah.
It's so important that everybody knows if you have a thought and this thought, you mix it up with the emotion, with this positive emotion, with this exciting emotion, and you feel the excitement and the satisfaction, then it's done. And then the people should have more fun, because the joy is the love of the universe. The fun is the love of the universe. This is absolutely the highest vibration. And everybody who is in this high vibration, the manifestation must come.
So can we all manifest that big, beautiful smile of yours? Wouldn't it be nice if the whole world?
Yes, of course.
You can, right? You can manifest.
Gonna create a new course.
How to smile. How to smile.
How to smile 24/7.
Even when you're sleeping, right? Do you smile?
Yeah. Maybe I don't see myself.
You should just put a camera up and see if you're smiling while you're. I bet you are. I have a feeling you are. Okay, so it says there, synchronicity, guidance, healing, and abundance are available to us all the time. All we need to do is tune into the energy of the universe so that we can get into the flow with this supportive, loving energy. When we are in alignment with this energy, life becomes a happy dream. When we surrender our will to the power of the universe, we receive miracles.
Yes, and that's it. When we are in alignment, and this alignment is the manifestation tool. And if you are in alignment, and I always tell my clients, you have to go out. Don't work so hard on your dreams. And I can tell everybody about my experience. That's exactly what I've been going through. Yeah.
And you've got a lot of great things happening in your life. that house, even though it
Yeah,
needs a roof, now it needs a roof, it's still a beautiful house.
yeah, it's more beautiful now with the new roof.
And a new roof, yeah, so it's even
Yeah,
better.
that's what so many people miss, to have the joy, and through the joy you have the manifestation, because then you are in the right vibration. So yeah, as I said before, so many people look at what's blocking me and what's holding me back, and why hasn't it manifested already, and why don't I have this car here, and why don't I live in this big house. I dream about it, and they always look what's not manifested.
Okay,
So they create lack.
that's right.
Yeah,
It's the vibration they're in. If you're in a
that's
vibrational
the
lack,
vibration.
you're going
Yeah,
to have lack. You're always worrying about paying bills. You're always going to be worrying about paying bills, right?
yeah.
Well, it says here also, another way to surrender to the power of the universe is to get clear about how the stories and beliefs we carry dictate our experiences. So, the question here is, what are the stories you are projecting in your mind? What do you perceive in your life? What would happen if we went into our change the real? What would happen if we changed our projection? We talked about this in reality in chapter 1 about the projector. So this kind of along the same lines. We can change that reel, that film, right? So what would happen if you did that? What would we perceive? You see the world you have made, but do you see yourself as the image maker? That's a big thing. You got to be able to see what it is you want. I always love what Bob said, see it in your mind and you can hold it in your hand. Some of these things you don't want to hold in your hand, but you get the idea, right? So take a moment to contemplate the idea that you are the director of the movie that is your life. Think about the movie you have been projecting onto your own life. What fear-based stories from the past are projections about the future that are currently playing on your internal movie screen? How are these stories blocking you from feeling supported and happy? That's what we're doing. Like, again, you go back to chapter 1 on reality, and we talked about the movie projector. Your reality is someone else's film. Like, that's someone else's movie. That's someone conditioned you to see the world in a certain way. So if you're not happy, well, guess what? You got to change the film. You have to become that movie director. You are the star, you are the producer, and you are the director and the writer of that movie. But most people don't. They just go through life living how they've been and keep complaining that nothing changes. Well, that's understandable. We all go through it. I've been through it. But the reality
Yeah,
is,
me too.
yeah,
Yes,
you
I
can't.
know it. Yeah, most of the people, they see a movie they don't want to see, and they don't want to live in this on this screen. But most of the people don't know that they can change it, and that's the biggest problem in the world.
And the sad part too is a lot of people, not only do they not know they can change it, but even when they do know they can change it, they see it as being too hard, so they don't even bother. I'd rather, they just rather have the life they have, even though it may not be perfect. And that can be sad because we're only here once that we're aware of. And I think it's our duty to try to, go to the very end and, go until the wheels fall off is a good saying. You go until you just can't go anymore, and living whatever life. Like, again, I keep going back to Bob Proctor. He passed away this year and he was 87 years old. Like, it's, he'd been doing this for 60 years. This is a guy that didn't even finish grade 9. Like, he doesn't have a formal education, but he has an incredible education from the books and things that he studied. And, I think that we'll be talking about Bob Proctor for years to come because he's a legend now. He's created something that is like, he changed my life many, many years ago. I've studied a lot of different things, but it was really Bob Proctor. But again, like, he changed his film. He created a brand new life. He was a guy that was going. He'll if you read his material or listen to his videos, he'll tell you he was a guy that was going absolutely nowhere. And then a mentor came along and helped him start to see the future. And that's how I got into Bob Proctor. Was I had a mentor that gave me Bob Proctor's old program, You Were Born Rich. I took that home, and I wasn't a happy guy. But I knew that something had to change if I wanted to be happy. And I just kept watching that over and over and over again. And that was the beginning. Was it easy? No,
No.
but it was worth it. Yeah, I'm sitting here right now having a conversation with a lady that's in Austria who never stops smiling, uh, discussing a book that I published. It's my book. If you go back to when I first got Bob Proctor's material, there was no way that I'd be doing this. There was no way, and it's crazy if you think about it, that that's possible. And it's possible for anybody and everyone. There's nothing special about me or you or anyone else. We're all the same. The only difference is our paradigms, how we were conditioned to see the world. And that's what this is all about, is changing that vibration, allowing the love in. And when you do that, well, guess what? There's really nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't produce into your life. When somebody, says that, I'm lonely. Well, why? You're lonely because you probably don't like yourself very much. Not your fault. But when you start to understand it, well, you can start working on liking yourself, loving yourself. And guess what? Again, when you connect to this universe and you feel that love, it gets a lot easier. And when you start to, sorry, I'm trying to read stuff at the same time here, it's messages. But, when you connect, you start to realize that anything and everything is possible. I'm a good example. Like, how did I get where I am? How did I get a chance to meet somebody like yourself? You're in Austria. Like, how is it we become such great friends? How is it that we're doing this? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Because we're supposed to. Right? We're on a similar path. We're on a similar vibration, or we never would have met.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
True.
We're supposed to know each other. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at is, anybody who taps into that love can live whatever life they want. I'm not done. I'm just getting started in my mind. Like people say, well, are you ever going to retire? No. Why would I retire? Why would I ever retire? I'm going to be like Bob Proctor, drop dead doing whatever I want to do. Like, it's, when it's time, I'll be gone. I have a feeling I'm going to live forever, because like my father is 93 years old and he's never looked after himself. Like, it's even till today, he sends my sister out to get double Big Macs and large fries. That's 93-year-old man. That's what he eats.
93. Great. Great genes.
I was going to say, I'm going to be 110 or something, I think. So I better
that's great. And I have a similar story, because I never thought about it. When I started to study the material, I thought, oh my God, it would be so great to bring this information out to the world, to everybody, to all the people around the world. And I had no idea how this could happen and how could I do that. The how is not our job. And at this time, when I started to watch The Secret, I thought, that would be really great to meet Bob Proctor. Guess what? 2019, I met him. So great. And now we are sitting here and we're making all these calls 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And Tuesday, abundance tuning. Okay, it's the last chapter. I'm very sad about this. Wednesday we have our roundtable, and on Thursday, Think and Grow Rich, and we talk about all this stuff, and all the people around the world can listen and watch the calls. And it's amazing when I look back, and I thought I would bring that out to the world. Because if we do that, we can make the world a little bit better. And that's the passion behind.
We can elevate the world.
Yeah.
That's what, we're talking about. A lot of this is all on, anybody who wants to go and check out the replays. It's all on the Elevate Network. You can go to myelevatenetwork.com. We might want to throw that in there, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to lift anybody and everybody who wants to follow. That's what we're doing. Again, as beautiful as, we've got people in Canada, we've got yourself in Austria, we got people in the United States that are already all part of it. I think there might be some people in the UK coming on board. We got another Canadian that's coming on board, another We got two people now, or one that's for sure that's already on there with from California. We got another person that's coming from California. We're spreading out around the world, right? And that's
Great.
the key, right? And that's
Yeah.
basically you and I are doing what happened to us. You had a dream of some things and it all manifested. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm manifesting the things that I want. And anybody can do that. That's what I want to make clear, is that it's not like there's something special. It's
Yeah.
just that want to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want it and you want it bad enough, it's amazing what you can accomplish. Like it's,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, publishing books and things like that. Like I had no idea how to do any of that. And yet I was guided to showing it. Like it all started when I remember Bob Proctor saying the best business card you could have was having a book. Right. And so I published a book, and that was, even then it was just a book of quotes, right? It wasn't actually a book like this, but I look back at that and I think like, how would I ever do that? How would I ever publish a book? And yet not long after hearing Bob say that, the universe guided me to publishing a book. And the surprising thing is, if you're willing to do the work, it doesn't even cost money. So like if you got somebody out there that wants to publish a book, it's, if you're willing to put the work into it,
Mm-hmm.
which that's the problem too. Well, a lot of people don't want to do the work, but if you're willing to put the work into it, you can accomplish anything. And that includes like studying something. Like, again, a lot of people don't want to do the work. They don't want to study it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you
Yeah,
do,
that's true. They don't want to read a book. They don't want to listen to some courses here on the Elevate Network. We have so many really great coaching programs. You just have to sit down, relax, and listen to the information, listen to all the stuff you get.
yeah,
And they say, no, I don't have the time. No, and today's not the good day. No, maybe tomorrow. I have so much to do today. Maybe tomorrow. Yep. And they don't want to
I'm too
change.
busy, right? I'm too busy
Too
complaining about my
busy.
life,
Yeah, too busy with cooking and whatever.
or going to their job that they hate and things like that, which,
Yeah,
again,
it's
it's,
sad. It's really sad because everybody has the possibility to
yeah,
change their lives.
do whatever
And
you
I
want.
know this fine tuning, this last chapter is so great because you have everything inside from the previous chapters. There's
Yeah,
all the information in this one chapter together.
yeah,
And the one missing part here is what you write in fine tuning. What you didn't describe the chapters before is the
yeah.
love of the universe, to connect to the love. And yeah, how you said that most of the people, they don't like themselves, but the self-love is so important, because if we don't love ourselves, how can anybody else love us? It's not possible.
That's right. Absolutely. So just this part here, let's finish it up with, I just highlighted that the way back to your power is simple. Whenever you notice yourself disconnect from the presence of love, simply say this meditation or an affirmation to come back to peace. And I have here, I witness that I am out of alignment with my power. I choose to see peace instead of this. And you'd be surprised, little things like that. If you get good at it, every time you start getting a negative thought, you start to say something positive, it immediately changes everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the next part is perception. Actually, that just made me think of, I was talking about that quote book.
Yeah, perception.
Yeah,
Yes. But how you said, that's good what you just said, because it's the everybody chooses the emotion.
yeah,
Everybody chooses where they are. All the people, every single person chooses everything.
right.
So
That's
it's
important to understand.
your choice if you feel love, or if you feel loneliness, or if you feel fear or pain or doubt or whatever, or you can choose to feel love.
Okay. I choose love.
Yeah, me too.
Makes me smile.
It's much more fun.
It's a much nicer place. But you're so right about the choosing part. And that's where, people don't understand that, and it's not easy to understand sometimes, is that everything in your life you somehow have caused. Again, that's got nothing to do with blame. It's not like it's someone's fault. It's the vibration you're in. And that's what we're trying to help you understand and change. Again, it's that someone else's movie that we're watching is causing you to choose things that are not necessarily in line with your true self. And that's the problem. So, again, I think a lot of people have a little bit of a difficulty understanding that you're choosing everything. If you think about it, even, if you go back into like the Bible and it talks about God has granted us with free will. We have the will to choose anything we want.
Yeah.
And fortunately, that's the problem. Like if you think about it, if you didn't have that ability, then you'd probably might be even happier, but you would never create anything. You'd be like your dog Malibu or my cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy every day.
As long
From
as there's
morning
food and
till
there's a food and a
evening.
warm bed and somebody petting me once in a while, I'm happy, right? Actually,
Yeah.
now that I think about it, I'd be happy like that. That's roof over my head, food, somebody give me food all the time, and someone petting me every once in a while. I'd be happy with that, I think. So perception is actually on a perception. I think anybody going to join us tomorrow on the roundtable, I think you're going to talk about that, right?
Yeah. Tomorrow
Excellent.
we're going to talk about perception and changing the vibration with changing the perception.
Right.
Yeah.
So the very first line here, I'll just read the very first line. It says, what we focus on, we create, be it good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing to understand is you can change your negative thinking like that.
Yeah.
But you got to be aware that you're thinking of something negative. Like you got to stay away from stuff like don't watch the news. Don't talk to negative people. If like we were talking about people on Facebook, if all they do is, post things that are negative, well, then unfriend them. Because there's nothing good that's going to come from that. Right? I feel bad for them. I'd love to be able to help them, but they're not coming to me because they don't really want help.
Yeah.
Right? So again, you want to stay away from that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It does no one any good, especially you. Like when that's the key. Anybody might be joining us right now or watching the replay or something like that. This is about you. This is about you living the life you want to live by your choice, right?
Yeah, by the choice of every single person. That's right. And that's what I think is so sad, because I was in the state when I had really a time where I was really lonely. I felt the loneliness and I felt no love and I was sad all the time. And this is going for for months. Yeah. But I remember when I heard the statement, and what do you do when your life is over tomorrow? What can you say about your life? And that was exactly the statement that made a big shift in my thinking, because I said, okay, I choose the sadness and the loneliness, but why should I wait to feel love again? And then my whole life changed again. That was a big shift. And that's what I ask my clients, and also when I talk with friends, when I say, what could you say about yourself when your life is over tomorrow?
Right. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have much to say, do they?
Yeah.
But they could.
And many people say, okay, now at this time I need this to be alone and to be alone. Just I heard it a few days ago, just that somebody said to me, I don't want to be alone. And I thought, okay, it's your choice, but why do you want to wait to feel love?
Right.
Yeah, because if
The
life
whole
is
idea.
over tomorrow, then you had no love.
Yeah. So they, when someone says, I don't want to be alone, if they don't change it, they're guaranteeing they're going to be alone.
Yeah.
They may even bring someone into their life, but they're still going to feel lonely
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that person they bring in isn't going to fill that void that's within.
Yeah.
So, well, the key is in that situation, the key is you got to learn to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you learn to love yourself, then you attract to you people that are going to love you for being yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good relationship
Mm-hmm.
because, it's not about someone else giving you something. You already have it. You don't need it. What you need is maybe that companionship, have that friend, that somebody that you can hang
Yeah.
around with and build something with. But you don't need the love from outside anymore. And that's the key. And that's a lot of what we're talking about here is, just learning to love yourself and understand that you are loved by this universe.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So if you take relationship, for example, I have a lot of young women now as a clients, and that's almost always the same, that most of the people, no matter if women or men, they seek the love outside. They want to have the love from the soulmate. They want to have a man or a woman by the side and to get the love. And that's what I tell them all the time. You don't need the love from outside. First, you have to find the love inside. Love yourself, then you find your soulmate.
Right. You can find somebody that loves themselves, and then you build a beautiful life together.
Yeah, exactly.
And you think about there's a lot of people that get divorced after some number of years, but then you see people that, been together for 30 and 40 years. Why? Because that's a true love of that person. Like, it doesn't matter how old you become, doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter anything. It's because there's a love there, a companionship that you can't take away. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a beautiful thing. Like, you see people, especially older generations, they stay together because, there was a time when you just didn't get divorced. But you can also see people that have been together for a long, long time, and they genuinely love each other. They
Yeah.
built a beautiful family, and guess what? Those kids will grow up loving themselves and probably have relationships with somebody that'll last a lifetime. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. So, I think love is really, you know, when you really tap into love, it's amazing that anything is possible, like anything. But
Yeah,
you need to.
that's
So he goes on here to say, the universe will always conspire to lead you towards solutions of the highest good when you open up to receiving them. The key to receiving spiritual guidance is to be open to it. And that's the key. That's another thing too, is, people say, I want this, I want that, I want this, but then they don't really,
not
it's
really.
like, I don't deserve it. Like, the subconscious mind says, I'm not willing to do the work. I'm not deserving. I'm not worthy. Right. You think about even people that are in business, they want to start a business. They might even have a great plan. And they may even have some success.
Mhm.
But then somehow, some way, they're going to sabotage the success because they don't believe they're worthy of the success or deserving of the success. Like, you grow up in an environment where maybe money was always very tight. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you're always going to move towards figuring out a way that money is tight. You're either going
Mhm.
to overspend or you're going to sabotage what you're doing and things like that. The universe or yourself, inside, have this beautiful, wonderful idea, but you've also got a side of you, that conditioned mind, that's going to say, yeah, no, that's not for
Uh-uh.
you. You're not
Not
allowed to have
you.
happiness in your life, right? You can't have all this happiness. Right? So the other thing I pointed out here, just quickly, is ask for guidance. Ask the universe,
Mhm.
show me the way. And guess what? It will, but you have to be open to receiving it. You said earlier, our job is the what. The universe's job is the how. The
Yeah,
how
the
will
what
come.
and the why is
Right,
our job.
right, exactly. Right. And if you're not open to receiving the how, you're going to go around and around circles.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too, that we talk about this a lot, is, people think that they need to have everything all planned out. They need to have everything all organized and ready to go. And I need to know this first. And I need to know that first. And I need to know this first. Well, that's just your subconscious mind causing you to resist. And when you
Mhm.
stop thinking that way and just be open to receiving, you'd be surprised the path. Like, I was talking about publishing that first book. I had no idea how to do it. All I knew was that I needed to do it because, according to Bob, the best business card you could have was a book. So I needed a book. Right? I had no idea how to do it, but I was open to receiving it because in my mind, I had to have a book, which has led me now. That's 3 books. Yeah. And this one, we're actually doing this. This is kind of fascinating if you think about it.
Yeah, it's great.
And
Yeah, but this to be open to receive, and this is when you let the goal and the dream go. Just think about it. Yes, but not 24 hours a day. You have to let it go. And this is, I talked to a friend a few days ago, and he said, I don't know why this is not manifesting, and I don't know why I don't have this, and I don't know why I don't have that already. And I said, okay, do you know what? Take all the stuff, put it aside, and go out and have some fun with friends, and don't think about it. Make something totally different, and have joy. Drink some beer, or make a course, or I don't know, go to a museum, or anything. Go to the cinema. Do something totally different.
yeah, it's good advice. Is he doing it?
Yeah. So I don't know what happened. He didn't call me yet, but I'm gonna ask him tomorrow.
That's the thing too. You gave him some great advice, but we as coaches, we can't make somebody do something. All we can
Yeah.
do is point them. So you got to want it. Like, he may not really truly down deep inside want to manifest things. He just says so. Right. And that goes back to what we're saying. You see people on Facebook that like to complain. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but if he doesn't take some of your advice and at least try, then he doesn't really want it. He doesn't want it bad enough. And that's the key too, is, you got to want it. You can't just say, oh, it'd be nice. Oh, it'd be nice if I did this. No, you got to want it. You got to get
Mhm.
emotionally involved with it. So there's an affirmation here I thought was actually pretty good. So I'm so happy and grateful knowing that I am one with the universe that created me, and I accept its loving guidance. It's a good one. Let's read that one again. I'm going to read it now that I can actually see it. I actually read that thinking I think I know this because I wrote it, but that's from memory. But anyways, I am so happy and grateful knowing that I am one with the universe that created me, and I accept its loving guidance. Just keep saying that over and over again. Like,
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like, we talked about it in, earlier in the book about paradigms, how they're created. They're created by, the constant repetition of information. And if you keep saying things like that over and over again, and you really think about every word you're saying, you get emotionally involved with what you're saying. You keep saying a paradigm, it becomes conditioned in you. And you're now
Mhm.
changing your vibration. And you're going to go through the day and through the rest of your life in a different vibration, therefore causing new things into your life. So let's say it again. I am so happy and grateful knowing that I am one with the universe that created me, and I accept its loving guidance. I don't think you really need to really say too much more, but there's so many things you could
That's it. Yeah.
affirmations. And here's the thing I mentioned out here too, that notice how you feel after saying this affirmation. It changes your vibration. Now, the old part of you, your old conditioning is going to, try to get you to change the vibration back. But again, through the repetition of saying something like that, you're gonna change the vibration for the good. And so hopefully people will start to think about these things. And what else I got here?
This one, I love this paragraph where you wrote, the universe is constantly responding to the energy behind your beliefs. If you are aligned with the belief system of fear, then your experiences will be backed with fear. If you retain yourself to choose love, then you will experience life through the lens of love. And that's so true. And uh, that's exactly what we talked about, the perception, how you perceive it. Yeah.
Hmm? You're
So, and this is what we are going to talk about tomorrow at the round table on
if you
not on
anybody,
Elevate Network. Just sign up
yeah,
to everybody who wants to
my
join us.
yeah, myelevatenetwork.com. Just go there.
Yeah.
Karin is leading that call tomorrow. Should be exciting. As anybody on this call knows, she's very good at this. Right?
Yeah, and this is so true. If you are in the vibration of fear, the universe responds with fear. And if you are in the vibration of love, the universe responds with the vibration of love. And that's so important to be aware of the beliefs. It doesn't matter what you say, only what you say. The universe doesn't only respond to your words. The universe responds to your vibration. And that's the secret of manifestation.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. You mentioned The Secret. Like I was thinking about the movie The Secret. Great movie, made a lot of people start to want to understand the law of attraction. But the key is it's the law of vibration and attraction. It's actually the law of vibration. It's the attraction that comes from the vibration. And
Mhm.
that was one part of The Secret that I thought was, they talked about it, but it wasn't as important as it should have been. They should
Yeah.
have talked more about vibration. And but again, it's I think it was a great movie to get people starting to realize the possibilities. So it's
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah, it's also the law of assumption. If you assume to be successful, then you're gonna be successful.
yeah,
If
right.
you assume to be happy, then you're gonna be happy. The
Yeah,
assumption is so important. Expect miracles. Expect that everything good is coming to you. Expect that all the magic is here for you, and that you can be, do, or have anything you want. Period.
just have to change your vibration, right?
Right.
And that to some people that might seem far-fetched and unbelievable, but it's true.
Yeah.
uh, and you just have to understand that it requires some work.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to get uncomfortable, because your
Mhm.
subconscious mind wants to keep you in this comfort zone. And for you to step out and do what you're saying, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. We talk about the resistance wall and going through the wall. uh, Everything you want's on the other side of the wall, but I call it a resistance wall because guess what, you're going to resist.
Mhm.
That's we talk about that a lot too, with the idea that people have a tendency when they're resisting is they pretend that they need to prepare more, or they need to
Mhm.
do this more. Like it was I was talking to a guy a while back that uh, he started a business. He had this big, beautiful plan of starting a business. Okay, well, for him to go to the next level, he had to get uncomfortable. But instead of actually doing what needed to be done and going through that wall, he decided to start a second business. So now he's proud of himself because he has two businesses, right? And then guess what? He started a third business because he still wouldn't go through the wall. So now he has three businesses, none of which can survive on its own. And yet every one of the three businesses is a good idea. And every one of them could provide him with the abundance that he wants in his life. But because of that, not being willing to follow the guidance and going through that wall, he thinks it's about him.
Mhm.
Oh, I need another business. So now he's working like 7 days a week, 10, 12-hour days, because he's got three different businesses. And the three businesses together make a pretty good income, but he'd be better off to go get a job somewhere because he'd make more money working at a job for less hours.
For less
Or,
hours. Yeah.
and the thing is, he could just simply take one of those businesses and make 10 times as much money as all three together. But he's got
Mhm.
to go through that wall. He's got to face that resistance, right? So,
Oh, that's what I know. If you go left and right in front of the wall, in front of the resistance wall.
that's what people do, isn't it? Or they
Yeah.
bounce worse. That's a lot of times they hit the wall and they bounce all the way back to where they started from and say, oh, that was a crazy idea. I don't even know why I tried.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it. And the sad part is there's nothing wrong with this person. They just don't understand what's going on. And the more you understand, the more likely you're going to achieve the things you want. That's where, we come in. That's what we're trying to do right now, help people understand. Like, everyone is perfect. We're all perfect. Anything that makes you feel as though you're not perfect, you gain that from the environment you grew up in. That's the people around you. They did the best they could with what they had. But if you don't feel as though you're perfect in some way, well, that's because someone made you feel that way. And you can change it. I plan on spending the rest of my life trying to see how much better I can get. I want to get more connected. I want to see what I can do. Even the Elevate Network, we talking about taking the Elevate Network, and we got ideas of conventions and awards banquets and cruises and guest speakers, live entertainment, rock bands, and got all kinds of different things. Maybe we'll get the Rolling Stones or somebody to come and be the headliner.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I think they're going on tour.
Yeah.
I like this part here. It says, remember that the universe will never give you anything you cannot handle. No matter how difficult your divine lesson may seem, you can find comfort because the universe is always supporting the highest good. First, as your support system, you are no longer relying solely on your own power to solve your problems. It is okay if placing faith in the universe, it is okay if placing faith in the universe is new to you. Every chapter in this book will help deepen your faith and strengthen your relationship with the universe. So for today, begin your new faithful relationship with the universe by asking for help with this affirmation. Now, this affirmation says, I am so happy and grateful for my divine lessons of spiritual growth and healing. I am open and willing to receive these lessons with love. Again, that goes back to the constant repetition is going to create a brand new paradigm. You keep saying that over and over again, you're going to be surprised how much changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I know we're running out of time here, but the very last part of this particular chapter is vibes. And, it really is what this entire book is about. It's about your vibration. Says, the very first part here, your vibes speak louder than your words. Hang on a second. There are no idle thoughts, and all thinking produces form at some level. When you think positive and loving thoughts and you empower and use empowering words, you feel good. But when you focus on your thoughts and your words on lack, you feel terrible. Your thoughts and words can affect your nervous system, energy, and entire life experience. Begin to pay close attention to how your thoughts and words affect your energy. That's a big one. And that's where affirmations, meditation, and all these kind of things are all ways to get exactly what you want.
And that's a big one. The energy you are in affects, so the vibration you are in affects the energy you are vibrating, the energy that you are vibrating out to the universe. But if you are constantly in a vibration of fear or stress or struggle, that's what your body shows you. If you are in a negative vibration, that's when the health issues come up. That's when people get sick. And that's the reason everything starts in the mind, and everything starts with a positive thinking. And that's important for the people. They really struggle with some health issues. Start reading this book and control your thoughts and start a positive thinking. Change your vibration.
Yep.
It's the best for everything, for every area in the life, for success, health, abundance, prosperity, partnership, whatever.
Yep. And the very last couple parts in here, mystery, understanding that miracles are natural. That's the important thing, because miracles, they happen all the time.
Yeah.
And then the last part here, this is really all about letting go of judgment. You'd be surprised that, we hold on to all this pain and over the things that have gone on, and that lack of forgiveness and judging situations in life. When you can learn to let go of all that, it's amazing how things start to change. You're going to find too, and I don't think people really understand, is that a lot of ailments, like there's genetic things that cause problems in our lives, physically, things like that, but a great deal of what makes us sick is our thinking. If you keep focusing on what's wrong in your life or what's wrong in the world, there's a very good chance that you're not going to be very healthy. You see that when you go into a hospital, a great majority of the people there, they don't realize it, but they actually somehow, some way put themselves there. I don't think, you got to understand, it's not deliberate. This is stuff that's buried deep inside. Like I had a health issue, and it kind of confused me because I thought I had everything all figured out. But unforgiveness is a big thing. And so if there's people in your past, I highly recommend that you spend some time letting go of things. And, forgiving somebody, this is important too. Forgiving somebody isn't just say, oh yeah, I forgive them, because you haven't. You got to let it out. I always tell people that, write things in, I suggest 3 different letters. The first letter is, you just, whoever you want to forgive, just let them have it. Just tell them everything that you hate about what they did or how they behaved. And then the second letter is kind of along the same lines, but now you start letting them off the hook with understanding that they're doing the best they can with what they have. They were given paradigms that cause them to behave the way they are. And then the third part is, you guys got to let it go. That doesn't mean you forget what happened. It just means you're not going to hold on to it anymore. You're not going to allow it to have any control over your life. And you're going to find that you're going to get healthier. You're not going to have big problems. You're not going to end up on an operating table in a hospital. You're not going to be spending a week in a hospital doing different things. That's where, again, Bob was 87 years old and never stopped working. Right. So he was in a good mindset.
Yeah.
And, even when he was in his, I think he was 80 something, 81 or 82, he had a very serious problem that required surgery. But even that, I'm pretty sure, he never really talked about it, but it's pretty safe to say that he knew that what caused it. But what's really fascinating too was he was in California at the time, and he was invited to a hotel room to have a private conversation with a man that was one of the top heart surgeons in North America. And Bob wasn't feeling very well that day. And when he was at this man's hotel room, this man came to see Bob live and was at his thing, and they got talking, and they hit it off, and obviously he got invited to come and continue the conversation. But he was not feeling well. He even started sweating and things like that. And the doctor looked at him and said, wait a minute, and went and got a stethoscope and listened to his heart. He says, okay, we need to go to the hospital. Had it been another day, Bob would have been dead. But he'd survived. So the universe actually put him in the exact place he needed to be at the exact same time he needed it, right? Because a day later, he'd be dead. Had he flown back to Canada, which he was supposed to do the next day, there's a very good chance he would have died on the airplane. But he was put into that situation. So that's the vibration of this universe. Like, Bob had more work to do. Bob was not interested in leaving this world. So the universe put everything in place. Same kind of idea happened with me. I'm not going to get into it all, but same kind of idea happened with me. And this is the thing that, when you really tap into the love of this universe, the universe is going to show you the path.
Yeah. Then you get the impulses, and
That's right.
Yeah, we have to accept the guidance of the universe. So, and that's what I say over and over again: trust your intuition, trust the impulses. And
Right.
if you feel that you have to do something right now, then just do it. Don't think about it. The first impulse is always the right one. Then comes the mind and says, no, are you sure? No, you can do that tomorrow. No, if you have an impulse, if you have a good idea, if you feel there's a higher power that leads you to a special place or to a special person, just do it.
Yeah.
That's
So
the guidance.
the conclusion here at the very end of the book says we can truly co-create with the universe. We can create movements far beyond our logical mind's capacity to see. We can help others heal and serve people all over the world. The simple act of asking, how would you use me, transcends all doubt and limitations. Your fear cannot coexist in the presence of this love. Become an instrument for the love of the universe. You are at peace, and you bring peace with you wherever you are, allowing the universe to guide you, heal you, and direct you. Bring peace back into your consciousness. Peace and love can never be lost when you lead your life with grace and love. You begin to feel a swell of energy move through you. You are given words when you do not have them. You are given strength when you are down. You are given synchronicity and support when you feel lost. You are given safety. Feel it, embrace it, and become one with it. You are worthy and deserving of anything and everything your heart desires. The universe will guide you on the path to your dreams fulfilled. Tune in to the abundance that is already yours. So I think that kind of wraps it up, right? We got Rhonda Burns quote here. Learn to become
Yeah,
still.
this is
Take your attention away from what you don't want and place your attention on what you wish to experience. Not always an easy thing to do, but most definitely possible. And if anybody is looking for a mentor or someone to help them with that, Karin can be found at karingatchnick.com. And of course, I'm at liamjenkins.com. And we love working with people. Come and talk to us. We can certainly help you make the changes that you want, live that abundant life that you want. This is a great here too that we like to follow this. It works. And Karin is even anybody's interested has translated this entire program into German. So there's German audio, the German book, and of course Karin can speak in German. And as anybody can tell, she also speaks English. So it doesn't matter if you're German,
just a little bit.
but if you are German, I can't help you. So give Karin a call, right, if you're German. Anyhow, so I guess we're kind of wrap things up. That was great. It's kind of sad it's over. We went through it all. So anyways, anybody wants access to it all, it is on myelevatenetwork.com. And hopefully we'll be back with something new and exciting. And thanks again, Karin, for doing this with me. It's been great. And again, thanks to all that have been joining us throughout the last, I guess, 8 weeks. We appreciate it. So any final thoughts, Karin?
Yeah, thank you, Lee, for this wonderful time. 8 weeks and it's over. Yeah, I'm sad, a little bit sad. Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna find another topic.
I actually already have one. I just haven't told you about it yet.
Okay. So I don't want to. I just want to say to everybody who listened and who stayed with us this 8 weeks, you can be, do, or have anything you want. You deserve everything. Just do it.
Just do it. That's right. Okay, well, thanks everyone. We'll see you again, hopefully. And don't forget, we are doing our roundtable on Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll be back here with Think and Grow Rich and a chapter on the mastery of sex transmutation. Interesting title. It's not as anyways, just come on Thursday. We'll talk about it. So anyways,
on Thursday. You will see.
We'll see you Thursday. So, all right, or Wednesday. Both. How about both? All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you again.
Bye.